All right, let's look at a few ways to quickly get rid of some dust and scratches that might be in your photograph. So let's take a look at this. This is a photograph of a beach in Santa Monica, California, and we have a lot of, we have a plane up there that was not visible before, but there's a lot of dust. This is not really dust. This is these are spots on the sensor, possibly on the lens, and so this sensor definitely needed to be cleaned before going on the beach. But that happens. You go to the beach, some moisture, some water might get on there, but this is a lot. This is a lot of stuff. So the long way to do this is to kind of get the spot healing brush tool and just kind of click on every one of these. But boy, would that take a long time, especially if you have 100 or so spots here. So the other way to do it is to go up to the filter and to do noise and do dust and scratches. Okay, so yeah, hey, look, it removed our dust spots or watermarks, but look what it did to the picture. It completely did it to all the details, so we don't want to do that. So what's a quick and easy way to get rid of all these spots in the sky? Well, let's take our selection tool. The object or quick selection tool is the best one here, and we're just going to select the whole sky. Okay, you can vary depending on your file size. A lot of these numbers are going to be different, right? So I've got a 200 pixel size brush here, but this would be, smaller if the file size is smaller, or bigger if the file size is bigger. And this particular picture here is a 6016 pixel wide image, so it's pretty large. It's pretty good for printing up to a small poster size. Okay, so we do have kind of a bad selection here around the beach chairs, so I'm going to have to get rid of those areas. So one way to do it is either the lasso tool, which is a little bit rough because sometimes you can, it's kind of hard sometimes to get it perfect, right? You can also use the polygonal lasso tool, and you can use the minus, hold down Option or Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, and kind of go around. And I'm holding down the Option or Alt to minus the selection because we don't want these with the sky. Of course, if you wanted to get much more perfect with this selection, you could use a brush to get more detailed, or you could use the pen tool. Okay, I'm probably going to skip ahead and just get done with this very quickly. Okay, so I have used the lasso tool to get rid of a lot of the areas that I don't want to remove any dust from or water spots. And yeah, we'll see if the plane disappears. Okay, so we're going to go up to filter, and we're going to go down to noise, and we're going to do dust and scratches. Okay, so this was automatically set to 16, and you can kind of toggle this around to see what is the best way. You don't want to use more than you need to, so you kind of just want to make sure that the watermarks or scratches are erased. And so around here about 15 is sort of where it seems to be working. Threshold is going to give you different results depending on how much you use. If you wanted to put, keep a little bit of gray in there, you could. So that's pretty good. It seems like it's disappearing. I think 15 is pretty decent. It's a little bit spotty there still, so maybe I can just bump it up just a little bit more. There, we're completely gone now. Great, so that was a quick way to remove them, even remove the plane. What do you know? Okay, now the thing is, look what it did down here. So this would be where you want to make your selections a little bit better, because this is actually what's happening. So this was a trash can, and you can see that how it you know, it just kind of blurs and it removes what it thinks is a trash can. I was going to remove some of these people from the image anyway, but one thing that may concern certain editors, digital editors, is the loss of some grain, right? There's still some grain there, but if you wanted to keep some grain, you can simply now go to the filter again and go to noise and add noise. And here you can kind of maybe add the amount of noise that you want to, or to match the original picture. Now, obviously that's too much, but you might want to add just a little bit of texture in there to resemble what was there, or to resemble the sort of grain structure that's in the other part of the image. Now, if I wanted to remove these people or this trash can, here's a couple quick methods. I'm going to use my lasso tool, polygonal tool, and I'm going to kind of go around here and select this area that I want to fix, and then I can try using a content aware, which, hey, that worked out great. It's not going to work all the time, so there may be a time we're going to have to use something else to make it match. So I'm kind of just grabbing these sections. Like this. Now, the problem here is that our ocean does not have a little bump here, right? So let's just do this one more here, this one more piece, and then we're going to fix that. So we fill. Okay, so yeah, the ocean does not have these little bumps like this. So I'm going to go to clone stamp tool. If I hold down Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, I can click this as my source area, and then I can kind of just clean this up so that it becomes a smooth line for the ocean. And I might have to do that on the reverse side, a smooth transition of the ocean into the sky. Here we go. Now the other option is, if I wanted to remove these people without using content aware, I can always use the clone stamp, and I could click here and sort of just erase them using the texture of the ocean. And again, you can look at the size and the hardness of the brush. So the hardness would be like no feathering, or like no blending into the background. So a harder brush is like more like a pencil. I've got kind of a 28% hardness, and then the size is about 10 pixels. So I think it's a pretty good setting for this. And I'm just going to go in here and kind of get rid of these people. There we go. Pretty close. I'm going to get this to get rid of that whiteness there. So there, that is using the clone stamp tool. And then there's one more method I want to show you, which would be just basically taking pixels and moving them. So if I get my lasso tool again, okay, and I grab a section that I want to copy, like, let's just say a rough section here. If I hold down Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and then I use my moving tool, right, which is the move tool here, which is the letter V, I can just hold down the Option or Alt, and I can move a section of this over because it's copying that section. See, the only thing you have to be worried about is if you're bringing patterns around that are too close. So you might have a repeated pattern at some point. But and then I'm going to get my clone stamp, and I'm kind of like, just do this, get rid of this white area here. So that's a way to kind of move big chunks of, you know, patterns or whatever. Just kind of be careful about repeating the pixel organization, the pixel patterns that are existing in the image. So over here, and then just kind of do this. There we go. All right, well, I hope that was good for you guys, and we will see you at the next tutorial.